Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm gonna wait to see if the service is good before I just, on and on. So, I'll wait here. I see one person in the room, gorgeous. Says hi, hi, gorgeous. Thank you guys for connecting, and I also want to make sure that the sound is all right before we jump into it, real quickly here. And we're doing another night read. Seems to be a bit of a thread here that we're sewing with the past few signs, a Sagittarius. And Aquarius, and I think another sign, Capricorn. Yeah. So we've been kind of working outdoors here. Hello, Michaela. You guys can see, you can hear, everything's cool. We're good. Oh, it's intense. I'm all right. It's intense, but a lot of energies here. A lot of cycles. A lot of energy yet again. Energy and cycles. Cycles, energies are synonymous. Hi, Amber Pamber and Pamber. Thank you for connecting. Oh, I really miss you guys. Really been really thinking of everyone here connecting and wanting to connect and read. And so, of course, divine timing 101 right there. Sometimes we say, well, I really want to read, then divine timing. So, yeah, it's been a bit crazy, and uh, well, everything that's going on in California as well, just wild. And so been moving around a bit, and so thank you guys for tuning in and for your support as well, all of you for um, tuning into you ultimately, and um, how special, Kelly. Such to hear that. So yeah, a lot also building up here around this time. Yes, we have the new moon in Aries coming up, but in addition, we have the sun in Virgo also culminating out right before it dips into Libra. And so you guys can hear me, right? Because I have these headphones in. I hope I'm not just doing the lip sync dance. Oh, okay, good, good, good. Okay. Yay. All right. Wow, loud and clear. Because, like, actually, I'm just gonna ask you to just turn down a bit. A little too loud now. Okay. Oh, great. Okay. Cool. Is it better than no headphones? You guys are like liking that. Okay. So, anyways, well, it's so lovely to connect again. And Leo, I was meditating your energy, and welcome here. It's a Leo. We've got the new moon in Aries, but a lot here. And I want to do hopefully soon, an astro talk. And okay, we're just doing a sit down tarot reading. Oh, 55 people in the room. Hello. We're at 2 minutes and almost 55 seconds. 55 seconds. Let me go. 13 likes. And so, yes, we have new moon in Aries and a full moon, full moon. I want to see what guys are like. Maybe we should just tone it down a little. No, we got to be honest. Right? It's a freaking full moon in Aries. It's going to be intense. Because the full moon, to begin with, is a high speed of energy flow. And in Aries, the fire sign of Aries, Leo, your sibling fire sign, it's going to really be, the volume's really pumped up there, really amped up energetically. It's really strong flow of energy that we're talking about. And so it will be important to understand consciously also how you discover your potential. Interesting. So take it as you will. Fire energy being very creative, also very physical energy. So and that which is attuned to the rest. So thank you guys for connecting. Aww. It's so fun. Hello, Alberto. So yes, yes, a lot of fire, right? That we're talking about naturally. The full moon being associated with the element of fire in some kind of way, and so there's a highly dynamic energy, creative, and it always does depend, right? And some people they're like, "Is my chart a good chart?" And I'm like, "Look, it really is nothing." All right, really. Like, you can look at the paint, right, prior to how we place it on the canvas, and sitting on the palette, right, we can say, "Well, it's paint." It is, and so we look at um, how does it serve us, right, to channel that energy. And in the highest form of expression, we can say, well, highest is always relative, but in a high vibrational state, fire energy is incredibly creative, dynamic. Can be considered assertive, right? Sort of amplified energy, specifically with Jupiter related to Sagittarius, but Leo is well your fire sign, right? Sun is your ruler, and Aries, Mars, the ruler of Aries. So we have the Sun, Jupiter, and um, Mars. Okay, we see this very sort of expressive energy in its lowest state or lower state. Again, everything's relative. Um, it can kind of lend to um disaster. Can we say that way? Well, specifically Mars, Aries, okay, the warrior of the zodiac. Okay, that energy that can be kind of combative, can be like, hey, I feel it, so I'm just gonna like do it. And as an onlooker to that energy space, we can say, well, that's kind of selfish. Well, why did they act like that? Typically those who have a lot of fire, a lot of Aries, it's a very playful energy. But when you look at children, right, do they necessarily kind of okay? They tend to sort of absorb and express. Interesting. That's how I'm hearing it. So I don't know what that's going to take it as well. And I'm focusing on my shoe actually right here, which is so interesting. I'm looking at actually the top portion of my shoe. I'll show you. It's got these little holes in it, and porous. And sort of you can say like breathable. It's like a sort of a mesh material, but it specifically has these holes in it, like breathable sort of material in the shoe. And so it's kind of interesting. I don't know what that might be alluding to for a number of you. Samantha. Samantha says, my dad is an Aries rising. He might as well be a Virgo and Aries. He's got friggin' Aries in its ruling house. So Aries ruling the rising, yeah. Aries actually ruling the first house, and he's so messy. All right, Samantha. In better news, well, what else going on? Okay. All right. Visa says, "LOL, unorganized, but organized is my middle name." Interesting. So, you got the Venus and Aries. Yeah, I got Venus and Aries as well. So, we can say that there is this sort of traction when it comes to passion as well, and actually that really excitatory energy, that very expressive and even mag. Well, it depends on again how you're working with that energy space. Possibly it's cleared and ground. I'm hearing come over. I'm hearing that for you. Naya says taking flight to Ohio tomorrow. I don't know what that's going to. It could be a little message here for y'all, but let's jump into it. Oh, Leo. Whew, Leo. I'm hearing who's that over there. No, I need to know who is that right over there. I'm hearing that like specifically. I don't know for a number of you there could be. Well, before we begin as well, remember, right, that this is a channeled message, and we're not working with the cards right here, technically. But what are the cards right to you, and really whatever you're feeling. Back? Are we back? I think it cut there. I was seeing the moon right there. So take it as you will. Is it any longer buffering, or are we okay? Okay. No, I'm hearing right off the bat, Leo. I'm hearing Aries is testing you. I'm just hearing that way. Okay. And it could be an aspect of your own being. It could be a part of your chart, even a propensity you've been working with. I'm hearing patience is the name of this game. And whoa boy, what a time to call up patience to that. Okay, when Aries, we got the full moon Aries. And the ruler of Aries is freaking retrograde. In Aries. Yeah. This is like, okay, people wanting to represent everything and anything that they feel for around this time. And that is coming to a point of no return. I'm hearing that as well. When it comes to how it is to be determined in relation to others. Once again, it is to be delineated. I don't know what that's going to. Okay, so it's kind of like, well, it could be considered a reactive time. Now, let's again clear the energy and ground. I was meditating on your energy. I'm hearing you're gonna have to be really patient around this time. I'm hearing with your silent story. I don't know what that's about. Give Leo a silent story. Tell him it's silent. Still, okay. Tell him that their story is silent. Friggin' not really attractive. I'm hearing when it comes to that, maybe that aspect of your chart related to Leo, where it's like, you have the feeling, oh, I have to bite my tongue sort of feeling. Like, well, it's not natural. It's not comfortable. Maybe there's something that can be possibly that is the experience that you feel you're having around this time, Leo. And it's kind of like I am hearing like sloppy energy, as it may be felt like possibly around this time. We have these the full moon in Aries coming up might start building right towards the tail end of mid part of this week and into October. Um, and so you might already start feeling these energies building. But when it comes to the moon cycle, you might actually find that this energy builds in waves, even year-long cycles. So waves of 6 months and even leading up into a year. So in other words, in general, if you look back 6 months, I found that energy tends to really multiply. I'm hearing in that way as well, in 6 month bits, and also year-long cycles. And I've noticed that some of you actually comment on some of the readings even from years ago, and you're like, this is exactly what I'm experiencing right here right now, so take it as you will. Don't feel like you're like crazy. Level number right there. If you do feel guided to watch some older readings, so-called older, what is time now? Let's jump into it, Leo. I'm seeing Valentine's Day right here. I don't know what that's linked to. Okay, like it as you will. But I'm here. You have to be patient. I'm here when it comes to finances. Remember, you might have like a burning question. I'm seeing like a gate right here. I'm seeing like I'm hearing a football field as well. I'm hearing FUBU. Someone's like, what is gonna happen to this industry? I'm here in this way, like, and I'm getting it right off the bat for you, like, this is something that will take a lot of patience. I'm here seeing shopping bags, like, someone's thinking it could be metaphorical. So he's, take it as you will. But, I can't believe it. Nicola, like, is anyone else laughing? I forgot to say Valentine's Day. Okay, I'm hearing I have to be silent. I'm hearing before I say who I'm in love with. I'm hearing that's what I'm here before I say what I love. I'm hearing to the person I love. Interesting. So what is that about? 1 second. Like someone maybe has an announcement, and I'm feeling almost like I want to recline right here, which is kind of interesting. We're outdoors. It's like okay. For a number, I'm seeing purple right here. There's something that has oh my, okay, it cut again there. Hopefully this won't be a trend. Can you guys see me all right here? And okay. There's something that I'm hearing again this way. Like you feel possibly like I've got to be patient with this. It feels so. I'm hearing so unnatural, possibly for a number of you. Like maybe you feel like something is requiring of you to kind of also reform your ways. I'm hearing your habits, and you're like, it's so frustrating. Like, I don't normally act like that. I'm hearing that as well. I don't normally do that. I don't normally do that, let alone like that. I don't know what that's alluding to, but a lot of changes here for a number of you, possibly that you feel, you feel okay. I have to like see beyond it now. For a number of you, I'm hearing you've had your eye on something. It's undeniable. There's no question, Leo, of it. The secret in a certain way is out, and I'm hearing it in this way. For a number of you, I'm hearing cool with you, like had some kind of food with someone. I don't know, like maybe a specific message for a number of maybe fish. I'm hearing the letter S here. Um, I'm hearing say my name, say the name, say my name. I don't know what that's about. Take it as you will. Sounds like walking with someone even under the moonlight. Now, somebody may be pregnant. I'm hearing that as well. Anyways, now let's clear the ground. Now, there was this very interesting, it was a very romantic period, and this came through another reading. I'm touching the inner part of my palm. So, for a number of you, it was started. I'm hearing, but it actually never was finished. I don't know. Well, gonna be on an energetic level, like, and you haven't made peace maybe with a certain experience as it might be felt. You're like, I never like completed that. I never finished that story, and maybe with that person. And I'm hearing this for a number of you, like I'm holding up whatever it was. I'm seeing lightning here, actually. Not, I'm seeing it, but I'm not actually physically seeing it. So, take it as you will. The law coming through here for oh boy, Leo. For a number of you, you're like, if you're like a horse in the stable, like I would want to say what I feel, but I have to wait. I heard this like, I don't know. It's like for a number of you, you're freaking like wanting to tell the person and also your dreams, how you feel about them. Maybe it's for a number of you, it's a confession. For another, maybe it's a proposal. And may involve a purchase. I'm hearing that as well, and it's like possibly for a number of you, it might be in terms of bureaucracy. It's not that maybe that this person doesn't know how you feel about them, but it's a matter of extending. I'm hearing your gratitude. It's like I'm waiting to be able to show what I feel, but in a tangible way. Interesting. It's like I'm seeing someone wants to purchase something to showcase something, but they can't purchase that for whatever reason yet. It might be, again, related to bureaucracy. Now, for a number of you, there are a lot of decisions maybe that you feel you need to make, or that a number of people need to make in relation as well to, okay, I'm seeing a number of people talking, and then all of a sudden it's like something is Um, s stalled. I'm hearing that. It's like a movie that was, like, interrupted, and everyone has to, like, leave the theater, and they're like, "What happened to Theodore Roosevelt?" I don't know what that's about. I was watching his whole hematite globin hematite globin, like hemoglobin, but like hematite, that's a stone, take it as you will, announcement. I'm hearing alchemical sisters. I don't know what that's about. Okay, there could be some specific message there for review. Now, for a number of you, there's just something as well that's just taking too much time, and you're kind of like looking at whatever this space is, and you're thinking like, "This is kind of ridiculous." And start to say what I feel in relation to that space. I don't know what that's about. One second, let's clear the energy. This requires so much, not only faith but patience. Faith plus patience, as an equation for you here, Leo. If we were to really like deduce it, it's faith plus patience. And fire sign. Okay, energy, fire energy. We're talking about here as well the full moon in Aries, and Aries not really feeling right, right? And the ruler of Aries is retro, and it's in its ruling sign. It's like I'm here, but I'm not. I want it, but I can't want it yet. It's like awkward. It's like showing up to the party and like like in a way you're invited, but like you can't show up as someone who is attending. I don't know what that's alluding to, but for a number of you, maybe you feel like you're even in the middle of something very confusing, and it's almost as if it's like for a number of you it is red tape. I'm hearing that like bureaucracy, but it's like I am technically registered, but I can't be technically registered because like they're not technically registered. So if they're not technically registered, then I can't be registered because I'm registered kind of in relation to that person. So it's like something is maybe in that way, but you're technically I don't know, like, for example, for an overview, maybe you're looking at even something you wanna purchase and, like, you already are qualified or you in some way have everything lined up, like, you and I'm seeing flash of, like, turquoise light, light blue. You're like, "I know that I have it in the bag. I know it's like I'm ready to take the test. I know I'd ace if I were to take it." Um, but I have to wait for them to sort of look through my paperwork and get me sort of, a permit. I'm hearing that as well to start the ground up, one second. The groundbreaking movement that I want to start. Wow. So once again, show. I'm hearing, yeah, it's like something very frustrating because you have like I'm hearing this from a review. Like you have everything sorted out. You have permits. You have everything, everything, everything. But it's just this nagging little detail. It's like something so I don't know. I don't know, Leo, take it as you will. It's like maybe something you can't even really talk about. It could be something legal where technically you're not supposed to like really say anything. For me, maybe it's a surprise. Yes, big time. Ooh, one second. I'm seeing the number 7. I'm hearing uh SMP, SMPGB. I'm hearing wishes. It's cleared and ground. This is something related to cycles from the past, and seeing a bright light right there. I'm hearing fishnet stockings. Okay, someone like maybe worked with someone on a set. Now, this is so childish to someone. They're like, I feel like this is silly. It's like I have to play it off like I'm single. I'm hearing that as well, while I'm not wearing my pants for any other show. It's like so bizarre. I'm seeing maybe even an actor who is technically registered for some kind of play, but they're not registered yet. So like they kind of, but then they're an actor, so like they're on stage, but like they cannot tell people. There's something very particular here. It's a vision. It's something particular. One second. It's like this. It's like you know what you want to purchase from the store. You kind of have paid for it, but like they didn't. Yes. Okay. So I remember a story someone told me. They were like, yeah, like one time someone purchased a car and like they didn't technically do the paperwork, but like this is not I don't know who this is not a personal story. I was hearing someone talking about this. Okay. They were like, yeah, and it's reminding me of this energy space somewhat. But they're like, yeah, they just like they basically paid for the car. But they didn't fill out the paperwork or something like that. And so like they took off the car. They took off the car. Wow. They took off with the car. They took the car and off they went. Like so it's kind of like technically that was maybe a risk I'm hearing that, like, specifically with the dealership or that space, that company, like, there's something that is kosher, but it's not. Something that is working, but it's not really necessarily technically, like, you can't record. I'm hearing almost as if you're, like, working without a badge of some kind, I don't know, but you're like, "I'm technically already, like, past," like, kind of energy. Now, how many of you are resonating, and how deeply from a scale of 1 to 10? Hello, go with the flow. Oh, I see, go with the flow. Okay, yeah, I got you. Interesting. Yeah, for a number of you, it is seasonal. It is something that has, like, no number to it as well yet. It's like you got the phone, but you have no, like, phone number registered to it. It's like something like that. But you know where it goes. I'm hearing that as well. I'm seeing fire here. I'm hearing born again. Born again. Okay. No, for a number of you, this is like a business, maybe that you're operating, but like you haven't registered it yet. Oh my, is that a new bug bite? Okay, it could even be a product that you want to produce. I mean, your makeup line, but it's like you're, I don't know. You already started making whatever this is, but you haven't had it registered yet. And remember here, Leo, this energy, right, can be managed even over a period of 6 months. So you come back to this reading, right? I invite you to come back to this reading, save it on your playlist or whatever else. However you find guided to work with this particular energy, but feel free to come back to it. 6 months down the line, I'm seeing 222 right there. For a number of you, there is a focus on. It's so funny. 114 people in the room right there. I'm seeing the number 14 as well as a focus. Is that Valentine's Day? So there's something for a number of you, like you could be planning something and you are feeling frustrated. If we were again to just do said, and Leo, I'm seeing maybe you're even talking to someone. You're like, I'm seeing you walk into a room, you throw your backpack, like, I'm here on the stage. You're like, I'm annoyed. No, really, I'm annoyed. I'm hearing Mark is not Nate. One second. Massaging my back anymore. Interesting. Okay. Okay, Leo. Of all complaints. Listen, you have one customer service complaint to put into the little box and piece of paper, with a pen. What bothers you the most? Mark is not massaging my back anymore. Freaking annoyed with that. Okay, are you sure you got like one ticket stub, right? Your name on it. That one complaint. Yep, no, but I want him to massage my back. Woo, he's out. Okay. Mark needs a marker to write with too, because I think he might have. He also has ticket stub. Everybody has ticket stub. Everybody has something to complain about if they were to complain. Dance Walker, that emoji. Yeah, that emoji. That emoji from like we far back from the screen looks interesting. in light of this conversation, at least, Okay, and I remember looking at that emoji. Do you oftentimes use that emoji, Dance Walker? Is that someone with like their arm out? Okay, anyways, their hand to the side. Are they dancing? Is that a pun on your username? Anyways, your name. But yeah, and so I never really mentioned that. But I'm hearing quick dry gel. I don't know, take as well. Like so something like somebody is, and I wanna find my pocket. I'm hearing that. One second. My notebook. Where's my notebook? Somebody's like frazzled. They're frustrated and frazzled. I don't know. They're kind of. They don't know what they're complaining about. They know, but then it's like that complaint is kind of enmeshed with another complaint, but it's kind of not related. It's like when someone is kind of I'm saying again, they run into a room and they have like a razor blade in their hand. They're like, I shaved too fast. You see my nick? I'm hearing that as well. Okay, Leo. Leo unloading everything that they couldn't make peace with. I'm hearing as well during the cycle of possibly the sun in Leo period that was right before the Virgo season, right? Yes, right. We were in Leo season prior to Virgo, so now that Mars is retro and everything. Everything. Okay. I'm annoyed with the way you also skewer the fish like that on the stick. Okay, we're really letting absolutely everything out of our backpack. Okay, that makes it feel like it's heavy. I'm hearing like in that way. Like I don't like the way that the story unfolds like that. I hear that as well. Oh my god. These are like if someone's reading them a storybook, they're like, okay, well if you're gonna complain about that, I'm gonna complain about that. And it's like, but then as they're complaining, they're like, oh, I'm gonna go over to the storyteller and tell him what I really think about his story. I'm hearing that as well. Like the story the storybook, I'm hearing that as well. Like, they're like, I'm gonna tell the book as well, not just the story, not just the author, but like the book. They're like going like all out. Okay, they're maybe digging things up as well. We have like 5, 6 planets retrograde around this time. Talk about bringing things up from the past. So, um, for a number of you, you might they might be actually in public, and it's that point. One time, oh gosh, I used to make vines. Okay, I know there's this one vine. It's coming to mind. I have to say it. Okay, and do you hear that exhale? Okay, so yeah, I got a Leo midheaven. All right, anyways. So, and so it's interesting. Well, in that the one vine I made a while back, it was so funny. There was this one. It was like a scene. Okay, the vine has since expired. No longer is Vine now, but there was this video that I'd made, and it was like two people fighting at the airport, like a couple like fighting in the airport. They're just like they're lethargic. They cannot even find the thing that they want to fling at the other person they're with. But they're in fury, okay? And it's like that when you're tired, you're overtired, okay? You're overworked, okay? You don't want to really have to like even carry the cat in the bag anymore. You don't really wonder as well where you put the fur ball. I don't know what that's going to, guys. Take it too well. It could be metaphorical, but it's like, yeah, the airport fight. You have the passport. No, you have the passport. Okay, like, anyways, it's a frazzled moment, possibly for a number of you that you feel you're having. Now, anyways, what I'm getting here for a number of you, Leo, is that there are a number of factors here maybe at play. It's like, yes, you were frustrated about something, but then there's also this, like, I'm hearing this lag to the way you land when you jump in the air. I don't know what that's about. Okay, like I don't know. I'm hearing this because my back was too heavy because I was reacting with everything on my back. Interesting. I'm seeing someone actually having a moment. They're like, I'm annoyed. I'm frustrated. I'm hearing that again, and someone's nose is like running. It's like something like that. Leo, I'm here and don't look back. They like throw a receipt on the ground. I don't know. They're like, I don't care where it lands. It's like something that maybe you feel like you're fed up with. Okay. No, this has to do with the TV show for a number of you. I'm seeing someone's wearing a heavy backpack actually, and it feels heavy physically. So now it could be energetic, take it as you will. Now, how many of you feel like you are moving through this cycle right here, right now? And I'm seeing ripples in the water. Oh, am I lagging? Is it really lagging? Ay. Really lagging a lot? Or can you hear me lagging? Can you hear me say, or is that lagging? Lagging. Okay, not anymore. Where was it lagging? Any particular point? Okay. So anyways, for a number, you're like you want to take up the bed. Leo is coming out with I think Pluto sitting in the backseat of the car that they're tired of driving. they're like they're not at this point. They're not just annoyed at the fish that's frying. I don't know what that's about, but they're like it's also everything that's led to this point that they will be okay leading out with. So there's a bit of a build up. Okay, we can say it in this way. It's not just like, well, today was Tuesday and I'm too tired. No, this is like I am too annoyed even to calculate. I'm hearing what day it is any longer in relation to what is irritating me. So maybe for you kind of have this left field experience with your own emotions where you're like, I'm not processing my emotions. I'm just feeling my mind. I'm feeling how frustrated I am, and I'm just expressing that. Okay, Alberto, are you headed to bed, Alberto? I was like, yeah, I would rather put my ticket in. When you're not talking, I'll put my ticket in later. Okay. I don't want to complain, in front of your face. I don't want you to think that I'm not, no tit, but hey, I'll put my 2 cents in later. You like the show, Alberto? I love the show. Guys, like that type of person who's they're irritated, but they don't say anything until they scream everything, like later down the line. Like it's a build-up, right? So, now for a number of you, I'm hearing Jeremiah always knows what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling. Like, okay. So 1 second, let's clear and ground. I think there's a spider in my jacket. If I were to, identify this feeling I'm hearing. Like there's something maybe that you've been feeling. It's like, but you kind of been putting up with it. You've been real patient now. For how many of you feel the one there? Go the flows like I put the spider in there. Okay, for now, maybe it's something that you kind of, I don't know, it could have been a dynamic that. Oh no. Hello? Hello? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me now? Can you guys hear me now? Okay, good. We're back. Yeah, so what was the last thing you guys heard? I was saying that for a number of you, it can be something that's actually a professional space. Like, it's something that maybe the dynamic was kind of like, a little, I don't want to say awkward, but like, it was fun to begin with. Maybe like you and someone kind of, oh, the joking? Oh, whoa, we've been talking for a while now. Okay, so spiders be crawling all over us for years. Finally found the spider. Kill it. That's it. So take it as you will. Yeah, for a number of you, it's really like that. Floss? No, it's a spider web. Thought it was a good thing. Floss, it was helpful. It was a spider web. And yeah, so Jackie, are you delayed or are we really in silence? Now, okay. Now for a number of you, okay. So we were saying, yeah, for a number of you, there is something. Oh, spider's the last thing you heard. Okay, so for a number of you, I was like, I don't know, Jeremiah. That's all I heard. Okay, Jeremiah. Well, for a number of you, this is something. Maybe it was even like a dynamic that you had with someone. Whoa. Yeah. For a number of you, it was a dynamic you had with someone, and maybe it was like you're working with this person, and like to begin with, it was like you kind of you're joking maybe with this person, you're going back and forth, and it was like. Suddenly, the Titanic started to tip over. Like, I don't know what but we were kind of joking around the boat. I'm hearing joking around the boat. So it was something that maybe you were maybe for a number of you wanting to even negotiate, and like someone didn't like that. They didn't like the way that, or not necessarily, it could be in however way. It was something kind of, it got a little awkward. Maybe for a number of there's even family involved, and like it was just, ooh, I put my hand in their honey pot, and they didn't like that. I'm hearing that as well. Like maybe someone was kind of like, I just gotta say it, like two people went out to dinner. One person was like kind of not acknowledging that the other person paid. I don't know what that's like, just not be talking, but there's something that maybe this is a message for a number of you, and it could be metaphorical. It may not be related to actual paying. I don't know what that's about, but it could be even historical, like over years of time, right? So something a little unbalanced, unfair. Okay, we'd say it's like if we went to dinner and like, you guys, are we back? Okay. 6 spider bites later. Ooh, or a mosquito rather. I think I have a few here, but anyways. We're saying that it could be something that it may have a financial side to it, and if we think about a spider, and actually what I'm imagining here is the 8 of Pentacles card, and that is depicting, illustrates a spider web, and a spider right smack down in the center of the web. This is the 8 of Pentacles card, and that it can speak of finances. So for a number of you, it's like you feel like there's some kind of really bizarre, even we can say like possibly awkward circumstance that just, and there can be history, there can be family, there can be this like kind of, the only way I can describe this is kind of like, and there is maybe an aspect or factor of communication involved where it's like, okay, I feel like I can't talk about those things because I'm hearing they're paying for me. Interesting. That's very, very bizarre. So I don't know what that's alluding to. 1 second. Yeah, it's like I don't feel comfortable. Somebody maybe doesn't feel comfortable, and maybe they haven't even. They knew that they didn't feel comfortable. They weren't able to really like kind of pin what that feeling was. Now let's clear it in ground, and that might not be literal for everyone. But right before it cut, we were saying that this is something cyclical. It can be considered. you know, maybe for a number of you, then that's the important aspect maybe here to the storyline that is sort of building out around this time, is that this is something that has been building, and it's something that for a number of you that you feel maybe you've been really patient with, like for quite some time. You're like, I haven't said anything about that, like, and every time I feel like I'm kind of taking the brunt, I'm hearing that as well, of the blow, like to kind of make them comfortable and accommodate them. And yes, Danica says family legacy and power, or my unwillingness to be courageous and stand up for myself and son. That's exactly the feeling. It's like, kind of, it's like, well, okay, there's history, and like, so there are expectations, and there are, you know, I'm not necessarily speaking to your situation, but you know, in a general way, there is this sort of energy frequency where it's like, almost like kind of, like you're the guest sort of feeling, and like you feel uncomfortable, maybe standing, in relation to your host. Interesting. So I don't know what that's alluding to, but it's like, but I also have my needs, and I want to actively address them. So for a number of you, and I'm seeing like a bed sheet being like shaken out, and I'm seeing like a pillow and a pillowcase. It's like, this is technically like not my home, it's not my place, but I have my own, I'm hearing conversation with my higher self, I'm hearing also my God. So there could be something related to religion even, and I don't know, maybe for a number of you, let's say you're like staying with someone, you're maybe in their home, you're in their house, and you feel like there is this a little bit of like imposition, or you feel like it's kind of awkward. Okay, now for a number of you, it's something that you don't know how to address, and that's the challenge here, because it's kind of like, you know, that feeling when you know like something needs to be said. Like for example, let's say you like start hanging out with someone or a number of people, and right off the bat you're like, wow, okay, so you know, you're absorbing the experience, and so, but over time, okay, maybe for a number of you, there is something that has felt kind of like a nuance, like, you know, nuance feeling, very subtle, maybe very, you know, brief moments. I'm seeing someone with a mustache. I don't know if that's the only two that's clearing around. Like, you know, something that just kind of like, you had this, something felt off. I'll say it in that way. Now, but you never really wanted to say that. Like, who wants to come out and say that they also feel uncomfortable with the way that someone, I'm hearing with the president, I don't know what that's linked to, with the presidential views. So it could be political even. It's like staying with his family, and like their views are like, you know, kind of like walking all over my back. I don't know what that's about. Okay, so interesting. So there might be something that indirectly, like, kind of even maybe offends someone, but okay. Anyways, now, Leo, I'm hearing you love what you love, not because others love it. Remember that. That's so important. To remember that also your sword remains by your side. I'm hearing it remains also as your sword. And, you know, there is a distinction, and but also a need, a really strong need to discuss what you feel. And I'm hearing feel your values relate to. So in other words, it's like, there's something you really want to say. It's like, I want to get this out there. I feel like I have to make a point of this, but it is awkward, and maybe that is the point for a number of you. And I really want my cards right here. I'm seeing a rainbow. Let's clear it and ground. I'm hearing, but I said I would host them. I'm hearing that as well, but I said I would be here. I said I would be here for them. It's like, maybe for a number of you, Leo, it's something you're even technically have a contract laid out, and you're already kind of involved in this. For a number of you, feel kind of trapped, maybe. It's like, I'm not involved, I'm trapped. Okay, let's clarify that. I don't know. Yeah, so 40 minutes and 4 seconds on the clock right there, and 141 people in the room. You know, it may be different for everyone, but, you know, there may be something that, and not everybody will understand this necessarily. Some people can look in on this space and say, wow, what a gift, like how cool it is maybe to stay with someone like that, or to stay with that family. I'm hearing that as well. But, you know, the way that you engage in this space is unique to you, and, you know, you cannot hide what you're feeling. I'm hearing that as well. It's not some you and your values. Like, for a number of you, you're realizing I'm doing myself an injustice if I do not stand up for myself, if I do not say what I really feel, if I'm not forward in that space, like forward moving. And interesting, 1 second. So this is very awkward, because I'm seeing even a number of people walking through a space or in a room. Through that room into another room through the door, and it's like The doorway just defines how they discuss the discussion. Interesting. I feel another spider. Okay. I don't know if it's a spider, but it may be. always leave, you know, the possibility open there. Okay, we are outdoors at night. So, for a number of you, there is maybe something that, and again, spiders can speak of finances. It's like, but they paid for that, and like, but like, I have an inherent issue with that, and it's, for a number of you, possibly something that you feel, you know, I hate to break up the status quo, hello everyone, but I don't do things like that. I don't feel like that's how things should be done. I don't believe in that. And it's challenging possibly, you know, but I'm seeing again people moving through a room, and it's like, it's so subtle. It's almost as if, like, I'm seeing one person in a group of a number of people, and they have something they want to discuss. And they realize that until that point, everything is sort of sorted out. I'm hearing that as well. It's like maybe we kind of negotiated on the deal, and it sort of like makes sense, but I feel something is unsettled. I'm hearing that as well. I have this feeling of something being unfinished. Now, as these people walk through this room, it's like they made the deal. They made it, everything sort of so-called settled. They're moving through this room through this door to move into the next maybe cycle chapter, and it can be metaphorical, but they're moving through the door, and this Leo, I'm saying this is you, but always take it as you will. It could be whoever, and who is you in distinction from another. But you are like looking at these people, and you're like, the way I move through this door is so important. And for a number of you, maybe it's something that you feel like, I have to make myself clear here. If I don't lay the foundation here, the future of what I dream of will be lost. And it has to do with your vision for a number of you, possibly feeling clearing in the crown chakra. Let's clear it. Yeah, this has to do with your faith. I'm hearing in your future. I'm hearing this, Leo. And for a number of you, it might be something that actually affects your future. Like, maybe you have to tell your boss, like, hey, I'm sorry, I don't really believe that we should be doing things like that. Or, hey, I don't think that the company is really, like, you know, move. I'm here in the movie industry. I don't feel like this is moving anyone forward. And that's something maybe that is kind of controversial or subjective. Maybe it's not something that is, like, necessarily also able to be just defined in a linear fashion. Like, and there could be people who look at this space and say, Leo, like, that's freaking crazy. You know, we already even we calculated it out. Like, technically we like define the value parameters, and you know, that technically makes sense, and the way we move forward is reliant upon these factors, and we already kind of talked. And it's like, I'm saying, Leo, you're kind of wanting to come through with this factor that matters to you, but may not actually have a name. Interesting. So that's real abstract here, but it may be. But feel free again to come back to readings if you feel like it's kind of abstract. Feel free to sort of tenderize the message over time and come back to it and watch it. You know, within a 6-month period, a year-long period. I found like the real sweet spot for some readings is 6 to 8 months. Really around 8 months, you'll most likely have felt those energies, or you feel those energies. And for a number of you, this, let's clear it and ground. I'm smelling perfume. I'm hearing they think I'm creepy. Okay, so maybe have to do with religion for a number of you. What is religion? But it's like gotta have to do with your practices, maybe your daily, your habit patterns, and you know, you don't want to scare anyone. I don't know what that's about, but maybe you feel like everyone is kind of the same in this space for a number. Sorry about that, guys. Phone call there coming through. You know, there's this feeling like kind of like, I'm hearing it in this way, like I feel alienated from them. I mean, from this group of people, and it can be on a transcendental level. Interesting. It can be you with you as well, Leo. It might be something where it's like, this is what I've known of myself to create, and I feel like I'm kind of branding my own potential to myself in a whole new way, and that scares me. I'm hearing that as well. So you guys, we're good? Now, for a number of you, it really has to do, I'm hearing this for a number of you, with social injustice, take it as you will. It has to do with your environment socially. It's like that sensation of going out on a limb, and I'm seeing the Fool card right here. It's like I feel like I'm about to get off the bus on the side of the road, not at the stop, at the side of the road, and everyone's gonna be staring at me like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you getting off of the bus? I'm here in the boat as well, like, so soon. And, you know, you feel the waves in the way that you feel them, right, Leo? No one can tell you what you pick up on, right? And say like, yes, it's right, or no, it's wrong. Right? Maybe for you, the ride doesn't make sense any longer. And I'm hearing any longer specifically. Like, that's where we can say maybe this is you with you as well. Where you're like, well, at a certain point in time, it did make sense. And don't beat yourself up for that, right? If let's say you feel like you look back on this experience, you're like, I didn't really express myself. I didn't really feel like I had the chance to express myself. I didn't really say what I felt. And, why didn't I do that? You know, don't beat yourself up, Leo, right? There's a reason for why as well. Well, I don't want to say why, right? But for where we discover our experience in the complex space, for a number of you, there is maybe this little feeling of, well, why did I wait so long to do this, to say this, to realize this? Why didn't I see it sooner? I'm hearing that as well. Like, maybe in yourself, right? Where it's like, I knew I had something more than this, that I wanted. I'm hearing that I wanted this, and it can be a space not necessarily that not necessarily are abandoning, but that you are expanding. I'm hearing that as well. So it's like, do I need to say that it is no longer, or do I need to see myself as further along the path through it that I say is one second. The same as the last. Interesting. One second. So you don't want to judge yourself, maybe, Leo, is like what I'm feeling like, but it is something that's very different. It can be as well seen that way. I'm hearing, well, I want to discover more, but I don't want to hit the do not disturb button. So it's like someone might feel like I don't want them to think I'm weird. I'm hearing that as well. All right, Leo, it's like I don't want everyone to feel like I'm the frog that took the leap off the pad and, like, you know, didn't really go where I was supposed to. Interesting. Where I was led. Oh my. Okay. So that's difficult, because if you are someone who's got a lot of Leo in your chart, and if you're watching this, you know, you might have quite a bit, right, of Leo in your chart. Not everybody has Leo somewhere in the chart, but, you know, if you do tend to resonate quite a bit as well with the Leo readings, generally with the sun, right? It's like the sun shines for, you could say as well the moon, but there is that dance for so many things. The sun is that expressive sort of energy, and it is incredibly dynamic. It is incredibly creative, performative, right? Sort of enigmatic energy. And when, let's say, you know, you feel like, well, my expression means that I would have an audience right here, right now, that I would possibly, for a number of you, feel alone in that space of expressing what I really feel and my truth. Is that story? Is that this part of my story and the way that I write it? For a number of you, you know what's right for you. You do. If you stepped aside in a room where no one else was standing in it, you asked yourself this question, and you knew no one else would really listening to the answer, you would know what your answer would be. You would. I'm hearing in this way. 150% is what I'm feeling. It's when they're in, I'm feeling constriction in the throat chakra right there. I'm hearing, I don't want to go any longer with this. Interesting. Yeah, no, you're done with something, Leo, and you know that. Like, it's not a question. It's a matter of how to address it, is what I'm hearing as well. And maybe it's for the people in that space. You understand the discomfort, the level of discomfort that may be for them when you speak your truth, when you say what's really on your mind, when you say what you feel. It's like the sound of it. You hear yourself saying it, and that is maybe part of it that is frustrating maybe for a number of you. Now, I'm smelling cabin smoke, so I don't know what that's about. It's cleared and ground for maybe there's something you made a decision even, like you've made the decision and now it's just a matter of talking to others about the decision that has been made. But there's no there is a spider. We'll say first what there is and then we'll say what there's not. Okay, there is a friggin' another little spider. I don't know. Little spider, big bite. Okay. For a number of you, like, maybe this has to do with your social circle as well, and you're just not having fun anymore. I don't want to say it in that way, but you realize, like, I don't feel it anymore. I'm here. I don't feel this. I don't feel funny. I'm hearing as well when I'm telling these jokes. Interesting. So it can be maybe even an aspect of your career or an aspect of your work. Or, let's say it this way. You're like, it's not that I don't like my industry. It's the company I'm working for and how I'm working in the position that I do hold, like the dynamic, even socially. So maybe it's just, you know, a matter of your day to day. So give me just a quick second here. Okay, Leo, now I'm smelling perfume again right here. Okay. I remember this might actually as well be something that you feel it's a sweet spot of a balance. Anything a little too far on either side of the spectrum can throw the space off. So let's say it in this way. Maybe it's something that is not necessarily like, it's like if you think about flavors, right? It's not like, okay, sour is like too sour or sweet is too sweet or salty is too, but it's a matter of the balance. If you have sour with sweet, then it becomes something different, right? So it's like maybe for a number of you, it's not inherently like, I don't want to be there, or I do want to be there, or I don't agree with this, or I do. It's a matter of how it is also defined. Interesting. So for a number of you, it's like maybe you want to change even the terms to a contract. Like it's like, look, maybe you have an offer. It's like, okay, I'm interested in this. I'm passionate about this. I'm maybe grateful for this opportunity, but it's just the terms. I don't feel comfortable with the way it's written out. I'm hearing that as well. So it's something maybe subtle. It could be something that you want to even innovate or redefine, and it can actually be you writing the contract for another group of people. So, you know, that may not resonate for everyone, but take it as you will. Oh, Gorgeous says, Mars it has made me lose all my energy. So you're feeling kind of drained. Well, and keep in mind as well, you know, we're moving through 5-6 planets retrograde in addition to the new moon in Virgo that we've moved through with an expanding sun in Virgo energy space as well as we move into slowly sun in Libra. So when the sun goes into the zenith degree, 0 degrees of Libra, we have to remember that it really hits the highest point of Virgo. So it's like, it kind of goes like this. Okay, it's kind of like the moon cycle we could say as well, right? It's like, or even, you know, the moon moving through different signs. It hits the tail end of the prior sign before it moves into the zenith degree, the beginning of the energy space of the next sign. So it's like, you know, sort of honoring the complete cycle of the experience is so important. And I'm hearing this for a number of you. Be gentle with yourself. Okay, when you feel overwhelmed, okay? When you feel like everything is sort of everything. I don't know what that's linked to, but it's like, you know, kind of you feel confused or exhausted. You know, it's not mandatory, I'm hearing this way, to make sense of it all in that moment, right? Like imagine feeling exhausted or frustrated or confused, right? It's not like that is like a question on a test that's written out, and like to get to the next chapter of the book you have to answer it. Like, that's not, I'm hearing that. Why? Interesting. Let's clear it down. That could be something that maybe for a number of you, like a number of people are in the space, are putting pressure on you. Yes, this came through as I was meditating your energy, and I wanted to mention it, and it's coming through here. This is something maybe for a number. I'm seeing cooking, like people cooking. It's a very specific pastry. Eclair. I'm seeing an eclair. Okay, like some of you, like there's pressure. It could even be competitive, maybe not necessarily someone coming forward and saying, hey, like we need you to do XYZ, but it's kind of an unspoken pressure where it's like, I feel like they're expecting me to do this, to carry this out this way. And I'm hearing you have so many doors to move through. There are so many opportunities, and maybe for a number of you feel like it's just this little window of time. Time doesn't exist, right? Time is not our medium here, really. I'm hearing it in this way. It's not the door we move through. Actually, it's not like I make this happen on Sunday. Sunday is the day that I make this happen. Like, I don't know what that's linked to, but you know, remember that energy moves in cycles, right? So in addition, you know, what you may be experiencing is not isolated to that moment in which you're experiencing it. So it always helpful to observe the macro space that you're feeling when you're feeling really zoomed into something. So let's say you're like feeling the intensity of a certain emotion. Okay, it's like that exists, right? You cannot have the bud of the flower without the petals, and the roots, right, as well to the stem. So it's like, you know, looking at the sort of macro space. If around this time you're feeling like you're just feeling a lot, and for a number of you, I'm just seeing that you're exhausted, and it may be really helpful to ground around this time. And we've been saying this for a bit of time now, a few months now. We've been saying really ground, because you cannot necessarily also define everything, right? You're like, oh, I'm feeling frustrated, and I don't really know exactly what's frustrating me, but I think that's frustrating me, and that's frustrating me. So, you know, having the oversight to acknowledge that there's a lot going on, and it may not be everything in that moment that it appears to be, actually, as well. So understanding that, yeah, the wave is also really big, but there's an ocean, and it is orchestrating the way it moves towards you. Interesting. So I don't know what that's linked to, or in this way, in this space, as it's observed. For a number of you, you feel alone. I'm hearing as well in this experience, and I'm seeing someone meditating or dreaming, and there is at times a feeling of helplessness, possibly. I'm hearing that as well. And if that's the case, remember again, we have so many planets retrograde, including Neptune. I'm feeling very strong sort of Neptunian energy right here. So, you know, if that is the case, if you have a lot of water in your chart, a lot of Neptune, or you have some sort of transit you're moving through, or a lot of Pisces in your chart, specifically, I'm hearing Mars and Pisces, very important to ground around this time. Very, 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 very important. Specifically, clear the feet. For a number, I'm hearing on the left foot specifically. Do what you need as well, right? That's also fire energy. So turning it inwards to your physical body can be so helpful when you're feeling like there is almost like no boundary as well to what you're feeling and what others are feeling, and so on and so forth. So you know, connecting again to what is also physically there in that moment can be helpful. And that it can be related to fire energy. I'm feeling pressure in the sacral chakra specifically, so doing things that also connect you to your senses, right? Venusian activities related to Venus, senses, taste, touch, smell, sound, right? That get you back into a space of engagement with your physical body can be really, really helpful. Physical activity as well. So these are all sort of, you know, means of channeling as well fire energy. And how many of you do have a lot of Pisces in your chart? A lot of Neptune or water energy in general, because they Scorpio, but I'm really feeling strong Neptunian energy here. And yeah, it's a lot of clearing. So for those of you who are also very important, do a lot of clearing here. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Love and light to you. Enjoy this period. And Neptune will be going direct hopefully soon. So well, hopefully soon. It will be going. It will be going. So Neptunian. Well, we'll see. What's time? It will be going direct. That's all that matters. All right. Classic Pisces. I'm on time, but I'm not on time. You know what I mean? All right. Okay. Oh, wow. 5 planets in Scorpio. Oh, hello, Mandy. Mandy, thank you for tuning in. 5 planets in Scorpio, rising in Pisces. Oh, my. Yes. So, those of you who are finding that you are doing a lot of work energetically around this time, so important to, balance it. It's like, okay, I feel like I'm making a lot of, headway, progress. I'm working with my own emotions as well. It's important to physically then tap through. I'm hearing that as well. Interesting. Kind of ground the body. It's like I use my physical body to exercise, and then I take a shower. It's like something like that, right? But from the energetic perspective. So if I feel like I am doing a lot of emotional work, or I feel like I'm actually helping others in a certain way, also clear their energy field. Let's clear the ground. It's so important to then tap back into your field as well after that. So if you're doing energy work, remember to clear and ground, tap it back into yourself. And I'm hearing Venus so strongly here. So working with the senses, working with your physical body, your senses, right? It's a very personal thing. That's why working with you and your physical body can be such an intimate experience when it does come to actually extroverting that energy ultimately. So the more that you understand and work with you in some kind of way, possibly that may help assist in ultimately also working with others in a more helpful way. So if you feel drained, right, it's like it may be helpful also to reconnect with your needs, and that is again related possibly to the senses. And because the senses again are personal. That's something very intimate. When you, let's say, you smell something, right? You pick up on the smell. It's almost someone's telling you what you smell. So it's kind of interesting. Take it as you want. But you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Love and light to you, and hopefully this was helpful. Keep in touch, you guys. Comment. Feel free to watch this reading as we near the full moon in Aries. Let me know how it does go. And remember, Mars is in a retrograde as well in Aries. So feel free to watch those readings. I do call you, and for your dear support as well with the channel overall, and any other messages here. It's cleared and ground. Yeah, very important. I'm like just to sort of ground and to reset. All right, love and light to you all. And any other messages here? Let's see, coming through real quickly. I'm seeing the chakras as well. So doing, if you are also, because there is so much, I'm hearing ascension, so much is happening on a collective scale. So what you're processing, you might feel at times like can feel overwhelming, and if that is the case, feel free to sort of turn inwards and again to clear your energy field. Love and light to you. Thank you guys for tuning in, and again to ground. So clear and ground. Love and light to you. Bye, you guys.